Hi, everybody.
It said you live instead of live.
We are live. Hi, everybody.
Live.
This is Phoenix Kinship. I apologize about the lengthy time of getting stuff together.
I'm still trying to figure out how cameras work. So,
there she is.
Already.
As she moves around more. This is my sister Denessa.
Hi.
And what we're gonna do?
Oh wow! Sorry. Just yeah. Oh,
wow! Whoa! That's exactly how that goes. That's exactly how it goes. And what were we gonna do?
Oh,
we were gonna do the thing on astrology.
Yeah, we're looking at stuff for astrology.
We're totally organized here.
Janice, where'd it go?
It's still there.
Okay, sorry. The screen went a little black, and I was like, oh god,
I'm gone.
See us.
I can't see.
Because again, I don't know how any of this works. I'm too old. I'm getting old. So we're gonna be looking at astrology and the main basics of it. For me, did you want me to talk about my interest in it?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll start from the beginning of when I was born. I'm just kidding. Well, okay, I mean, technically, that would be the story of me because, the time that I was born, the day that I was born, the longitude, the latitude. Yeah. You know, those things. Those are all very important for you to be able to, tell the story of you, as well as, personality and all that other fun stuff that happens with astrology. And it gives overall picture of you, right? Mm-hmm. But when I was around 9... I ended up going to, those Scholastic book fairs back in the day? Well, I went to one and there was this galaxy little book and it was pink and purple. So as a kid, I'm yeah, that looks so cool, right? And of course I'm younger, I'm 9. So I don't know the difference between astronomy and astrology. So I was those are stars. Let's look at the stars, right? And so anyway, I looked at the book and then it went into this horoscope stuff, which was kind of interesting to me because I've always been kind of fascinated, even at a young age, of just trying to profile people. That sounds, it's not in a bad way. I mean, in a counseling, there are patterns of behavior within people kind of thing from a sociological perspective, which is my jam, my bread and butter. So I thought that was super interesting. I eventually wore out that book. And then, and then also my sister is my sister. So therefore I became super interested in stuff like that. It kind of rubbed off on that, and it doesn't really help that your own grandmother, your great grandmother was a German gypsy. So whatever, it's this was supposed to happen, I guess. But then when I got older, I ended up getting this book. I don't know where I got this book. And it says The Complete Idiots, right? Guide. Which I got, it was in 2003. So,
Hold on. It's going to do the thing and it's freezing. Sorry. There we go.
It froze, I guess. Okay, anyway. But yeah, so I ended up getting this thing. I highly recommend this if you're going to be just trying to understand anything. This was the 3rd edition. This is the new edition. I'm showing all these books because I have a bunch of them. But when I was younger, I ended up getting this one. And it's really stuff is falling out. I read through this thing like a mofo. And then there's this amazing thing that, I don't know where.
It's there.
So there's this amazing thing that came along with it. It sits there and, clearly has the wheel in case if you don't know. It's, the zodiac starts at Aries and at Pisces. Also in astrology, we look at it as the beginning of birth towards the end, right? So the further you go along, which Aries is in and of itself its own entity, right? Or rather, it's a newborn, okay? And it's more associated with childlike stuff or whatever. Not to say that Aries are immature by any means. That's not what it... They're very headstrong. But anyway, so there to the very end, and each zodiac as you go along actually starts to encompass each other one. So that's why by the time that you get to Pisces literally feels like everything, or can ego-wise tap into so many things and so many different people because it's experienced all the other signs. So, the further you go down, that's how it'll be. But yeah, so, and then after that, after I looked inside these wonderful books, that was totally a random side note, by the way. But, you know, I just got into like these books, and this book tells me about my houses because it broke down a few things in there. If you're new to it, there's this thing, which I think is super, I don't know where it is.
There it is.
This is super cool. It's like literally like a journal of like stuff that you could do for you to be able to like have your own. I have left it blank simply because I plan to do a few things with that, like individually, if people want to do personal messages with me or whatever, then I could like copy pages in it. But that's what you do when you do teaching. But yes, when I looked into there, into the original complete guides or complete idiot's guide, the idiot thing, right? The dumb thing or whatever. It's just that you're ignorant. And by the way, ignorant isn't a bad thing. Okay. It has a negative connotation, but ignorant just means that you're not educated. Okay. And that's what, if you don't know anything about astrology right now, you're ignorant. And that sounds mean. I don't mean it like that. It's not mean. But it just means that you're learning.
Yeah,
okay?
You're a newbie.
You're learning. You're naive. And that's fine. But you're willing to learn. So that's good. There's people out there that don't want to.
You can calm down. It's okay. You don't have to talk.
No. I was just thinking about idiots who don't want to learn or want to change their ways in the world. But anyway, getting back to things. You know, we were talking actually inside of the book, it does have aspects. Aspects are mainly specific things inside of your chart that deals with your experiences overall in life. And it's, to me, it's like, it's pretty cool because that's where you get to like the meat of it all, really. You're able to actually understand like how your ego, which is your sun, and how your moon, which is your feelings, how they interact. Sometimes it has to deal too. Sun is usually like associated with dad, or, you know, moon is usually associated with mom. So then if they're in opposition, then maybe you came from a household that was divorced. So, or they just were so polar, there was such a polarity inside the house that you felt like that you were torn between them. So whatever, but that's, you know, a totally different, that we'll get to that later. But then there's also this book, which is about your North Node. Okay. That's also going to be inside of your chart, which we would be using Cafe Astrology for. And it just goes in and lays out things. These are all like charts that should be free. If you want to look in closer at other things, I highly recommend for you to get spend the $5 or whatever it is for you to get a professional one done.
On Cafe Astrology.
On Cafe Astrology, or, you know, or if you want to go do, I think it's Chaos Astrology. That one's good too. I paid for that. It was like $12.99 for like a whole year membership, and I could make 20 profiles. So that's cool. But anyway, getting back to this, I actually love this book because my amazing, I don't know, I guess you would call her teacher, but there's this amazing psychic, tarot reader, amazing astrologer named Mary over at Jan Ross Bookstore, and she's adorable. She's the cutest thing on earth. I love her. And anyway, so she does classes too for astrology as well as tarot reading. So you could learn that, and those classes are like, I think it's like every Saturday when she's in Arizona, but sorry. When they're in Arizona. Sorry, I just realized that there's other people that, you know, aren't actually in my mind and know where
living in the same state as you're talking about.
You know, but anyway, so she's usually there and she does that. But anyway, she told me about the North Node. At first, when I looked at my chart, I was like, what the heck is this? I don't get it. Why? You know, because there's still stuff. You learn so much. This stuff is not easy to learn, okay? Like, it'll take years for you to get it. It's not like that I just woke up one day and I was like, oh, I know everything. You know, it's not how life works in general. But in here, the North Node specifically talks about your karmic lesson for this lifetime.
Do you want to pull up an example of like what that would be?
Well, I mean, I could go ahead. Well, I mean, I still need to that's just what it is in general. I was just going to go through like what each planet means when you have like your chart. I don't know if we want to just pull up a chart in general and then like I can just go ahead and explain
so they can see
what
you're
that
talking
looks
about.
like.
Okay.
Because
So
like not what they do. I can't talk.
okay, so is it like you want to look at the picture, or did you want to look at
You know what? Okay. You know what? Let's go ahead and let's just pull up a chart and just see what it looks like.
okay, so let's just do this real quick.
Excuse me.
So so this is Cafe Astrology. This is the place that she likes to go for a natal chart.
Right.
And then whose chart is this?
Go down.
We'll have to
Down. Oh, Ian.
It's Ian's.
Ian.
Do you want to look at his, or
He's adorable. Okay, so go down. So we're just gonna leave it right here. Okay. So we have sun. Okay. I'm like in the freaking camera, like okay. So sun. That's what everybody, when like they say like in the newspaper or in a magazine, which clearly none of us use anymore because technology. But when people say, well, I'm a Virgo, or I'm a Gemini, or I'm a Leo, this is mainly what it is that they're talking about. They're thinking that it's like mainly sun sign. Okay. Sun sign usually has to deal specifically with like your ego. And when I mean ego, I'm talking about like ego as in like the id and ego, like psychological thing. Okay. But this is some place where you'd be able to, you can go ahead and identify with, depending upon these little dudes, these little numbers right here. Degrees. Yeah, the degrees and all the other orbs, whatever. It's the orbital, it's the longitude and latitude, or it's the degrees from which the planet, or where Earth was. Sorry, I'm trying to convey this. So when you're born on Earth at that time, and at that exact time, at the same exact place in which you were born, it's what the sky looked like at that time. It's very, very important for you to know the time that you were born. Everything can change based off of that. Now, a lot of these planets really aren't going to necessarily change as much, but if you go down, these will, which is going to be all of your houses, your ascending, and those still affect a lot of things for you. So, but if you could go back up. But a lot of this running through here is going to be kind of like the same. But again, you do need the correct time. You do need the correct location. So you need all of that for you to be able to get an accurate reading on there. But getting back to the point. So the time, the place that you were born and where you were in correlation to what was in the sky in that direct moment in time. And that's where you get the sun was located in the zodiac constellation of Sagittarius. If you looked inside the sky, that's where you were. Okay. So, and then it follows through with Moon, Mercury, Venus. That's just where they were in the sky at that exact time. Okay, as you look farther down, like Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, all those, that's more of like a generational thing, because clearly those planets don't move as fast around you, meaning you of Earth, or even the sun. Like it takes forever. Our entire lifetime, it might move once, but any whoozy whatsy. But the sun goes ahead and is more of like your ego, right? Or mainly a lot of the personality traits that you would imagine. But again, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be like the biggest thing. The next thing is your moon, which, as you know, if you're a female and you're more connected to the moon, we cycle through things. So does the moon. The moon goes ahead and cycles through all these different signs in very fast. So if you're off by some time, you may have a different moon. But if we were to go ahead and take a look at the moon, it would be specifically the way in which you feel, your emotions. Your emotions are very important to the type of person that you're going to be, clearly, because if you're an emotional person, that's just how life is. For me, I'm a very emotional person. My what is it called? My moon is actually Pisces. Even though that my sun is Virgo, my moon is Pisces. Even though that I come off as like a judgmental, analytical, in my head type of bitch, My moon is very much like this gentle, lovely little puppy here. Even though that like emotionally, like I'm very empathetic. Again, going back to if you're at the end of the zodiac, like what Pisces, you're able to, I'm an empath. So then I'm able to feel or be able to connect to everyone or soak up everybody's energy because, and it's not even soaking up. It's just, I could feel people. That sounds wrong.
It just means you can empathize with them.
I can empathize them because it's just easy. It's just how I naturally am. But emotions wise, that's how I genuinely feel. And I feel authentic in that. And then, two, the main thing, we call these the big three, which is your ascendant. It goes your sun and your moon and your ascendant. Okay. The ascendant is technically the mask you wear to the rest of the world. For me, mine's my sun is Virgo, my moon is Pisces, but my rising is Aquarius. For Ian here, though, it says Sagittarius for his ego, and then it also says, if you scroll down, it also says Sagittarius for his ascendant, right through here.
Yeah.
And the ascendant, you know, which is kind of cool because then it's just he acts like a Sagittarius because he is a Sagittarius. I mean, there's, you know. But also too, I just want to kind of go back just a tad bit. That's all fine. Okay. You don't need to move that. But okay. In general, there are, you know, when it comes to all of the signs, there's masculine and there's feminine. You know, yin and yang. The feminine signs are earth and water, and the masculine, yeah, okay,
yeah, let's do that. All right,
well, yeah, but I don't know. Okay, yeah, and then,
I can do it.
Okay, and then the masculine signs are air and fire. If you do not know what that means, I'll just go over it real fast with you. So, so there's, you know, 4 different elements, right? That astrology uses. And when I mean astrology, we're talking about Western astrology. There's Eastern astrology, which is Vedic, but that's like, I could never understand.
You're like, that's a whole new ball game. We're not going balls deep there. All right, so this is here's the wheel right here for them to see.
So, okay, so you have if we start, which is Aries, it's red there because it's fire. It's a fire element. Yeah. Okay. Fire means kind of impulse, kind of free, not necessarily free thinking, but very free spirited. I'm gonna go off, I'm gonna do this. Or, you know, it could be very again, they could be angry. But that means, you know, like it's just very instant, very fire, very in your face, and that's fine. You know, who doesn't need that? Everyone. And they're also very strong leaders, almost any of them.
Right? And Aries is the beginning of the zodiac,
right? So that's Aries specifically. Yeah. But with fire in general, yeah, it's usually a lot of instant.
Yeah, well, it's also like, I'm not trying to step on your toes, but like with the beginning of the zodiac, that is going to be like, no offense towards anybody that is Aries, like it's the beginning of the zodiac is a little bit more immature. I'm not saying every Aries out there is super immature.
Yeah, no.
But it's like the newest one out of the bunch. And then Pisces is like the oldest, but it's also the culmination of all of them.
Right.
She's going to go over that next.
No, I already went through it earlier.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. And then, yeah, so, you know, but with Aries, you know, like we said earlier, it's like a baby, right? You know, when you need it. Could be prone to tantrums, but that's just Aries, okay? But in general, though, it's whatever. My Mars is in Aries, but we'll get back to what Mars is and everything like that. But anyway, so there's fire, which is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, okay? They are fire, okay? And then we could go to who's next? Taurus. So Taurus is part of Earth. I'm part of Earth. Sorry.
It's like your mom. Your mom?
Yeah. And Ollie. But anyway, who else?
Papa.
There's a lot of people.
Alex, Juliana.
So Taurus. Taurus and Virgo and Capricorn, they are part of Earth. Earth is mainly about physical stuff, maybe material, realistic, tangible things, statistics. If you were to say, well, I think in this way, they'd be like, well, I need to physically see these statistics. Like they need actual physical proof for a lot of things. They're kind of ran by money, but whatever.
Normally, and then like,
but you know, I mean,
they're
there's
normally
so
more
many
grounded. Like,
more grounded. The five senses. When I mean sensual, I mean the five senses. Those are things for them. You know, when they taste, they really taste food. Okay, like they love food. But anyway, getting back to it. So then the next one that we have is Gemini, which is air. So if you're air, you have to kind of like think about what actually air is. Sorry, going back to Earth. Earth could be something that seems to be a little superficial because it's more surface based. You know what I mean? But getting back to air, usually air is very cerebral, very in the mind, and it's Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So when they're mainly air, sometimes because they are so cerebral, they might be able to come off as arrogant, but it's whatever, you know, like if you know your crap, then you know it. So, but as well as, you know, again, they're very cerebral. A lot of it, like Geminis, they're very analytical too. Libras, they're definitely charming. And then Aquarius is, you know, they're more of like the humanitarians because they think on such a global level when they think about people and their interaction, but it's definitely a lot of theories too. So you get like more of the philosophical, you know, cerebral types in through air. And then the next one, which is, oh my God, my neck, is
Cancer.
Is Cancer, which is water. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, they all water. Okay. I don't know why I said they all. They all water. Water in the sense of like, you just actually have to think of water. They're very flowy. Okay. When they feel intensely. It's like a tidal wave. Okay. They could be moody. They have depth because if you think about the ocean, there's depth. There's so much, you know? But like waters, again, they're very flowy. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that they're very easygoing. It just means that they're very flowy. Like things move through them very fast. And with ease. They're very in their emotions. They're very in their emotions. But Cancers are pretty cool too, in the sense of like, you know, every single sign has, you know, your own, they all have their own little narratives. Like with Aries, it's a ram. Taurus is a bull. Gemini are twins. Cancer is a crab. Leo is, you know, a lion. Virgo is a virgin because those are real. And then there's the Libras. And those are scales. So nobody likes to go on the scale. I'm just kidding. Especially after quarantine. And then there's Scorpio, which is, you know, a scorpion. Let's see, what is next? Sagittarius, centaur. Okay, they're like, you know, Fantasia. They're galloping, throwing arrows and crap in the sky. Pretty cool. And then we have, Capricorns, which is like half goat and like half mermaid. These are all based on, we'll get back to it, but Roman and Greek mythology. We'll get back to that in a second. But it's just all really fun monsters, right? And then except for this, like, you know, and then there's Aquarius, and Aquarius
the water bear.
Aquarius constantly is like holding this, you know, vase of water, vase, I don't know, words, you know, water. They bear the water. It goes into the thing. But no, there's that, and then there's, you know, Pisces, which is a fish. I don't know why it's like this.
She has to do the hand gesture for the fish.
Okay.
You'll see yourself in a minute. Just
but yeah,
going.
no, you're fine. But yeah, so those are the zodiac. And then they also are in, like I said, there's fire, and we'll review that real fast. Fire is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Then there's earth, which is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, which I don't know if I went through that, but whatever.
You just did.
And then there's air, which is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And then we also have water, which is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And the thing about that is, like, you know, usually the ones that I just explained that are in the group of your element, usually you're compatible with them. It's just easier for you to be able to, you know, communicate or whatever. You guys usually, it's just
mesh
easy.
well.
It's just easy.
Yeah.
It's just easier. You know, it's less challenging. So it's usually more acceptance. Again, you know, there's multiple layers to you. Okay. So, so if we were to look at the planets, which is,
oh, you want to go to the planets? Let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go to the, what is it?
I'm going.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Un
momento, por favor.
There you go.
Let's go to the natal chart. That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Fun times.
I'm making faces.
Yeah. What? You
I
don't ever
do
make
that.
faces. I don't even know how that...
So, okay, I don't know why, like, Ian became our guinea pig, but he did. So, so if we just go to the planets, we have Sun, which is ego. We're just going to go back through that. Again, let me just go back to saying your three main things that you're going to mainly identify with in your life are your three, which is, we call them your big three, which is your sun, your moon, and your rising. Okay, that's what we call it. In here, the sun is Sagittarius, the moon is Aquarius. You guys could read. But
and then the rising is what do you like?
And then the rising right here is Sagittarius.
And so ascending node. Okay.
Yeah, which is ascending node. Sorry. Well, no, it's just your ascendant.
Yeah.
So yes. But anyway, if you go up to the top.
Yeah.
So again, so we'll go with sun is your ego, moon is your feelings, your authentic feelings of yourself, and your Mercury is, you know, if you think of Mercury, which is Mercury is the Roman interpretation of
Hermes
inside of Greek mythology. So Mercury is very cerebral. It's the way in which you think, you communicate.
Yeah.
You know, things like that, the way that you analyze things. It's very much the way that you communicate. You know how Hermes or even Pages.
He was the messenger god. That's basically what he did, is he conveyed the messages. So it's also not just to communicate, but the way in which you communicate.
Right.
That's the big thing. Because you know, like Denessa would say, with Mercury being Sagittarius, which I completely forgot that this was for my husband. Sagittarius, not only is it a fire sign, but it's a natural born teacher. Like that sign has been known to, because it's made after Cryon, or I think it's Cryon, the actual centaur and all that stuff.
I just know it's a centaur.
I know, well, Greek mythology is my jam, but so it's supposed to be modeled after Cryon, the like he was original teacher in any ways, but Sagittarius is like a natural born teacher and student. It's both. And the way that he communicates, it definitely like shows it's through education. It's talking about education. It's very important for him. Right. So this makes a lot of sense.
There's that, but then also too in Mercury, if you're Sagittarius, which is you're very free spirited. So when you communicate with them, they might be like, hey, this or that. And they're just very enthusiastic when they talk.
And anybody that's met Ian knows this. Yeah. Like 100%.
Right.
He's
so
animated.
So like example of mine, I don't know why I keep going to mine, but whatever. It's just something that I'm easily able to communicate. Mine's Virgo, which means that like, if you think that like I'm judging you, I probably am. Like mentally, like, and I don't mean that in like a mean way. I just mean it as in like, that's how Virgos are. They judge. But I'm just going to say, because I'm probably a little defensive when it comes to Virgos, the judge means that you use your judgment, and judgment is a culmination of experiences. Okay. So it just means that you're going off of your experiences. Does it mean that you need to learn stuff outside of your experience? Yes. But it's not, it's like if you were to just, well, this seems bad. I know this is bad because of my experience, because there's evidence, because I'm an earth sign in that area. I have physical evidence. I've experienced it. It's there. That's my proof, right? But you know, when I talk and I'm like definitely talking, I definitely sound bitche.
No, you're very animated. That's the word. You're very passionate about what you're talking about.
Yeah, but that'd be Mars.
It's conveying through, and it's very conveying through. And
that would be Mars.
That would be a good point to look at yours. But yeah.
But you know, so there's Mercury, and then Venus. Venus is the way in which you love, because it's Venus. So you have to do with love, as well as Venus represented art, the way that you view art. The things that you find beautiful. This could also be stuff that you find inside of your home that gives you joy in that area. It's kind of like a domestic kind of like planet a little bit. You know,
domestic life.
Well, it's not even domestic life. It's just the way in which, like, interior design, like what you would like in your home. And that's what it is that might give you energy or love or comfort. Also, Venus could be a very nurturing thing, but so can the moon. The moon could definitely be nurturing. So next one is Mars. Mars is the way in which you can be angry. It could be the way in which you have passion. It also could be sex. But
I love how you're like, could be sex.
But you know, but anyway, Mars is you know, where you have passion. And also Mars could go ahead and represent the way in which you act. Like, some people think that they may know a person just by their actions. And when I mean act, I mean actions. That's what I mean, not act. I mean, their actions convey this or that. My Mars is in Aries, which is not on this screen. This is Ian's. I'm pretty sure that that's probably confusing. Just go ahead and close out of there and then just do it on the side.
Well, we can go to do you have yours pulled up, or did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Nope.
So.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Oh.
I was just going to say, go ahead and close out of there and then just put it to the screen. And then once you're done, then put it back up.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, so, yeah. With my Mars in general, it's Aries. So my actions could be very headstrong, could be very stubborn, but at times it makes me a good leader. So there's that. But again, also, if I don't get my way, guess what? I turn into a toddler and I have a damn tantrum. I really do. Like, I get whatever. But that's just how it is. You know. And then so there's that. And those are your inner planets. Okay. And then along there, you know, if we're good with the solar system, we know that in between Mars and Jupiter, there's asteroids, right? There's an asteroid belt. Yeah. And in there, if you want to do more advanced stuff for astrology, you could learn all of your asteroids, which is really cool. There's Juno, there's Vallis. Those are all really fun ones, but that is a different level. This is just basic. We're dealing with basic for right now. So then we're done with the inner. The inner is the one that's going to change the most because it is closest to where you were born, physically on Earth. Okay.
And like the paths around the sun.
Right. You know, it's just the rotations, right? Yeah. And then Jupiter. We have Jupiter. Jupiter in mythology is Zeus. But it doesn't mean that he's like a father sign. It just means, like, usually if you have Jupiter, did you want to pull mine up over here?
Yeah.
Like in Jupiter, you have what is it? Jupiter is mainly
Here, let's do this.
Sorry, I can't like talk and type at the same time.
No, it's okay.
I'm really fun like that. Jupiter has to mainly deal with your luck. It also has to deal with your morals and what it is that you think is your truth. Okay. It's more of like a philosophical planet.
Yeah, you're that old.
Yeah, I mean, it also just kind of like...
I don't remember the time to save my life.
Oh, mine? Okay.
Or did you just want to do the unknown time?
No. We're going to do this one.
We're going to go balls deep. All right, cool.
Okay, and then
yeah.
I was born in Phoenix. It's a bird. It's on fire.
It's on fire. It's a fire bird.
We also have a bunch of meth heads, but that's okay. They're on fire too.
They're firebirds too. They just don't know it.
Or they think they are. I don't know.
Oh my god, we sound like such jerks. Sorry.
That did sound mean. Wow, sorry. I don't mean that in an insensitive way.
You're not saying that everybody in Arizona is a meth.
Yeah, no. Not everybody.
Oh wow.
What?
I just saw the R's next to your
stuff.
Yeah,
okay, R's. We'll get to that. Those are retrogrades.
Yeah. Sorry.
That means I really gotta learn it.
She has a lot of...
I got a really...
It means that this stuff is... Sorry, so we're gonna look at her chart right now. This is
mine.
This is her. So she knows
This is Denessa.
She knows her shiz. So if you look at Mars and you see how it's... Aries, and there's an R right next to it, it means that this is a lesson for her.
Well, yeah. It means that... that this is a very important lesson for me. Retrograde, which we all know because I swear to you, every single white woman out there says, oh, Mercury's in retrograde, and then they use it as an excuse for stuff. I'm just kidding. Like, I mean, it kind of does stuff, but like, whatever.
It does affect things, okay. But yeah, anyway,
so again,
every basic white girl out there. Oh, God.
But Mercury is in retrograde. But it is, okay? It is, okay? It's real. To a certain level, okay?
You were born under a retrograde, so when it's in retrograde, you're doing fine, right?
Yeah, I kind of.
No, that's the thing that I've noticed. I have other friends that actually have, like, they were born during a retrograde, and they're like, yeah, retrograde happens, and I'm awesome. I don't know what people are complaining about.
Here's the screwed up part, and through here, this is like Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, so it takes forever for them to become in retrograde. Yeah, it takes forever.
Yeah, it messes with you pretty
bad.
But
anyway, okay, so getting back to what we were talking about. So Jupiter is like your truths, your morals. Mine's Gemini. Saturn is discipline. Your discipline. Mine's in Sagittarius, which means I basically don't have discipline. But
unlike your sister that has weird amounts of discipline, I didn't think I had any. I honestly didn't think I had any.
Someone's a little OCD. I'm just anyway.
I feel legit. No, it's fine. It's legit. I acknowledge that I have OCD.
And so and mine's just like, I'm a mess wherever I go. But I'll teach you about things. Anyway, so Saturn is the discipline that you have, your self-discipline, the discipline, not necessarily that you immerse out to the rest of the world, but it's just like your own self-discipline. I know I keep saying that word, but that's the main word that I want you to understand with that. Next one, Uranus. Uranus. God. I just wanted to do that automatically because I know that our brother is like...
Already. That's how he's doing it right now. And if Jess is watching, she's probably laughing her butt off because she's like, "Yep, that's how he laughs."
Thanks.
Anyway,
how'd you know? I don't know. We don't know him.
We don't know him. He's
just
a weird guy that shows up and looks
We're like that's our brother.
Yeah.
We just stole him from somebody.
Just acquired him silently. All right, so Uranus.
So Uranus is, again, we're dealing with outer planets. I know I feel like that I'm going on forever about this, but whatever. So Uranus is kind of like your rebellious sign, like fight the system kind of thing. And mine's Sagittarius, so I'm like, let's do it.
And evidently you've got retrograde.
Mine's in retrograde, which means that I really need to learn a lesson that because I am so rebellious, which is
she can rebel doesn't mean
which first of all is literally the largest one that I have here.
Because of the
I am so rebellious against things that it clearly doesn't work out for me. Like, I don't go, like, clearly this world has been made into a system of some form. And in order for you to play the game, you got to follow the rules. And I'm like, no, I don't like that, you know, and it doesn't necessarily work out the best for me to be able to learn everything, for me to honestly even take advice from older people, which I really suck at. I'm so sorry, because my bosses, they're so nice. And they try and help me out, and I really suck at listening when it comes to somebody telling me what to do. Yeah, I know that it's from a genuine place, but it takes me forever to implement it. But anyway, getting back to it. So then there's that, and then there's Neptune, which is really cool because this is like kind of like the occult thing, which, you know, if you're watching this, you probably like it, right? It's mainly like the occult thing. It has to deal with imagination. It also has to deal with music. One of my favorite things, one of the things that I love so much. It has to deal with also, it could be like psychic energy or something like that. And then
that makes a lot of sense now.
So, and then we have Pluto, which is Neptune and Pluto. They are so much a generational thing. Pluto is definitely a generational thing. Yeah. That mofo takes forever for him to move around anywhere. And when I mean Pluto, I mean Hades. Okay. And when you think to yourself, like, oh God, it's the devil. It's not like that. What we mean by like Hades, we mean by like, it does mean death, but it means like a butterfly. It means like a caterpillar to a butterfly, the transformation, the metamorphosis.
It's death and rebirth.
It's the rebirth. And if you have a lot of Pluto inside of your chart through other aspects or placed in certain areas within your houses, it means that, and if it is everywhere, it means that you have lived life in a lot of different areas of your, like, you've lived a lot of lives during your one life, if that makes sense.
It does.
Because you're like, you get reborn into this, or you transform, or it's just easy for you because you have to be a chameleon for survival. You know, sometimes that's how people are. They have to adapt very easily for them to be able to survive. I don't know what that's like. But so there's that. And then we go to Lilith, which pretty much means you're a witch. I'm just kidding. No, it doesn't.
But on mine it does.
Well, yeah, it does. Weird. It's like everywhere. She's a witch. Somebody show what's like. Somebody needs to bring a torch.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I need this house.
I just need to be alive.
I'm just kidding. No, I love her.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Lilith is, you know, I'm going to watch Sabrina and her adventures. There's Lilith, right? So that's what you think. But it's the first female demon. Well, it's the first demon, which was Lilith. But anyway, getting back to it. It's like if you were to think that Pluto was devilish, this is kind of it. But it's not the devil.
It's the feminine aspect.
But it's like,
but it's more like your darker aspects.
It's like there's the skeletons in the closet right there.
Yeah.
And how that is culminated into something that you utilize through whatever it's associated with. Like, I want to say, because mine's Virgo. I worry a lot. Virgos are neurotic, anxious, nervous people, analytical, very self-discriminating, very
they're so hard on themselves. It's ridiculous. Like you're not the first Virgo I've met, but every Virgo I've ever known, like, it's like, here's like the standards that they have for themselves, but everybody else's standards are lower than their own.
I have Virgo also in here. I have it in through here. This is my sun, which is my ego, and Mercury, which is the way in which I think and I communicate. So again, it's just, you know, being critical of myself. I'm very critical of myself. And with Lilith, it's the skeletons in the closet. In other words, like, why did I wear eyelashes? That's exactly what it means. Why did I wear eyelashes? It's more along the lines of like, that is like all the negative anxiety thoughts y'all don't really want to know about, you know? Like,
yeah,
like it's definitely really dark as to like how much I criticize.
Because the way people
perfectionist problems, huge for me. There's a reason that, like, you know, I am the way that I am. But yes,
the way that it's been, okay, so I'm gonna let you take a breather, but yeah, the way that I've gotten out of this, because she's been explaining it to me, is the gist I got out of it was that it's just the darker aspects of you that you don't want to acknowledge, or that you, that you won't address. Doesn't mean that you will not ever address them, but it's just the darker aspects that are not common knowledge for everybody.